Ricky Gervais is a British comedian who's world famous now, and in 2018 he released a special called Humanity. And in Humanity he had a bit on why he doesn't have kids. And there were some things that he said in that bit which I think run along somewhat antinatalist lines. I don't think they're strictly antinatalist, but they are definitely points that antinatalists bring up, and I think that they're worth commenting on, because I think he's maybe someone who potentially may eventually get to an antinatalist conclusion. So let's have a look.
People say, oh, it's selfish to not have children. How can it be selfish to not bring a life into the world that doesn't exist on any level? It's not as a long sort of cabinet full of potential ghost fetuses going, we want to be born, right?
So in this clip, and obviously all of these clips are going to be jokes, so maybe I look like a bit of a knobhead for taking them seriously, but I think there are some serious points in them. In this clip, he talks about the fact that how can it be selfish to not create someone? Often people accuse someone who either doesn't have kids or is arguing against procreation, saying that they are being selfish, and usually they say that that's because you're depriving someone of the opportunity of life or the gift of life or something like that. You're taking something away from someone. And when someone says that, implicit in that is the assumption that these people who you're not creating exist somewhere else in some sort of nether region, and these people claim that you are depriving these people by not creating them, which is clearly ridiculous because they don't exist on any level. You don't wrong anyone by not creating them. And I think this is an observation that was good for Ricky to make, because I think a lot of people have it in their mind that people who don't exist kind of want to exist, or you're kind of letting them down by not creating them, especially maybe long-termist sort of people who sort of like drool over the idea of bringing future generations into existence so they can experience the transhumanist utopia that we're going to create for them.
But I've thought about it, and there's 3 reasons I don't have children, okay? 3 main reasons I don't have children, and I'll share them with you. Okay, here they go. 3 reasons, right? 1, there's millions. The world's overpopulated. No one's sitting around going, oh, Rick's not having kids, we're going to run out.
In this clip, Ricky talks about how there's already loads of people, and it's not like it's going to be an issue for, you know, if someone sees this video or someone sees Ricky's special and thinks, you know what, actually, yeah, I kind of agree, I'm not going to create anyone else. As if the world is going to run out of people. Like, everyone else who's not going to be exposed to these ideas is still going to like reproduce, right? And a lot of the people who are exposed to these ideas are still going to reproduce. So it's ludicrous that it falls on any individual person to, you know, put in the work and help humanity keep going, because like that shit's going to keep going anyway. But also I think it highlights the fact, and he doesn't say this directly because I doubt that he wants to adopt, but it does point out the fact that there are billions of us and there are millions of children who already exist and need homes. And creating someone new, when you're doing that, you have the resources at your disposal to raise someone, presumably otherwise you wouldn't be creating someone. If you have the resources to do that, adopt someone if you can and help someone who already exists rather than bringing someone else here to have to deal with more problems.
2, kids are scroungers, aren't they? I mean, from day 1, it's all me, isn't it? Feed me, clothe me, pay for my chemotherapy. No. Not my problem, son. Not mine. Luck of the draw, boy. Luck of the draw.
So here, obviously, Ricky's making like a very crass joke, and it may not be to everyone's taste, but it kind of highlights a point here that, well, 2 things, actually. So the first one, he talks about kids being scroungers. Like, obviously, this is a joke. I'm sure this isn't actually his view, because in fact, it's actually the reverse. In this bit, he's talking about kids being scroungers, so they're sort of demanding things from their parents above and beyond what they should be in an unreasonable way. But actually the case is that if you're going to create someone who has needs and desires that didn't need to exist in the first place, and then they've got to work to try and satisfy those, you're obligated to help them with that, if not putting all the effort or as much as you can, because you're the one who created those problems for them. You're the one who created the needs and desires when you didn't have to. You just did it because you wanted to. You're the one that did that. And so clearly you're obligated to help them meet those. And then the second thing he talks about, which he doesn't make it as an explicit point, but I think it's worth raising now we're here. He talks about a kid needing chemotherapy, which obviously he makes a joke, it's luck of the draw. And I don't think many people in the audience would have clicked with this, but it's the fact that, yeah, it is luck of the draw. Like, no one knows what their kid's life is going to turn out as, and you're the one rolling the dice for someone else. First of all, I don't know why someone has deluded themselves into thinking that they have the authority or it's their position to be rolling those dice for someone else. But like, whatever, moving on from that, it's just highlighting the fact that procreation is a gamble and creating someone is a gamble. And, no one ever thinks when someone is sort of caught up in the sugar-coated bliss of having a kid, they don't necessarily think, oh shit, it might actually be my kid that gets cancer and needs chemotherapy or some other horrible situation that they may fall into. So I thought these were some points that were either buried in Ricky's bit or he actually just explicitly brought up. And I think they, somewhat run along antinatalist lines. So I thought it would be interesting to highlight those. Let me know what you think of what Ricky said in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.